tireless search, a painful journey that started 11 days ago. Sunday, May 24th, Memorial Day weekend, Nevaeh first reported missing, last seen riding a friend's scooter at the Charlotte Arms Apartments. Monday, May 25th, an Amber Alert issued.
Almost 100% sure that she got snatched.
Searches begin. Jeniifer Buchanan's friend, George Kennedy, taken immediately in for questioning that night, the first of several vigils.
We need to pray for a miracle here today.
Tuesday, the investigation centers on Kennedy. A nearby quarry becomes a focal point. Hundreds join the search.
Because if this was my daughter missing, I want everybody to be out here looking for her.
Wednesday, May 27th, Nevaeh's mother, Jeniifer, makes another plea.
Can you go as far as possible?
Last Thursday, the investigation shifts back to the apartment and a nearby campground where Nevaeh and her mother visited. Friday, May 29th, a major twist in the case. Blood tests on George Kennedy's knife show it is not Nevaeh's. Tuesday, sheriff's deputies hold their final daily briefing, saying the investigation will continue. Wednesday, the reward jumps from $2,000 to $20,000. Thursday, June 4th, the painful discovery: Nevaeh is found.
And it could happen to anybody, but we don't want it to happen to nobody else.
The agony and pain ingrained on every face.
Joining us tonight in a primetime exclusive, the fisherman who unwittingly ends the search for little Nevaeh. He's out fishing with his father for a day of relaxation and instead finds the child's body. Straight back to Guy Bickley. Mr. Bickley, have you ever fished there before?
No, I haven't. I've just observed the place, and then I've seen other cars and vehicles there fishing from time to time.
So this is a local spot that a lot of people know about?
Not really. It's on a back road that I often take after dropping my son off to school. A lot of times I'll take this back road, Dixon, back over to the roads that I take to finish getting home.
A back road. Let's unleash the lawyers. Joining us tonight, Cheryl McCollum is a crime analyst and director of a cold case squad. Dr. Marty McCary, physician and professor of public health, attorney Bradford Cohen, and Daniel Kane. Bradford out of Miami, Daniel out of Atlanta. Bradford, it screams a local. No one just swooped in from another area and picked this child up on the street. Did you hear what he said about a back road?
And as soon as I heard about the area that she was found, that was the first thing that came to mind, is that it was someone who's local, someone who knows the area. When it's a remote area like that not a lot of people know about, and she's found on the banks, that does scream that it's someone who's familiar with the area, someone familiar with those roads. So they're looking for, I would imagine, someone in that direct vicinity, 10 to 15 miles around that area.
To Daniel Kane, you've tried a lot of cases, including defending homicide cases. This shows an incredible amount of cover-up after the murder. There is no way they're going to be able to claim accident. That's one defense, straight down the tubes.
It doesn't appear to be an accident case,
No.
Or at least one for defense. It's the I didn't do it or the other fella did it defense.
Now, Daniel, why do you agree that accident as a defense is not feasible?
Well, because you have a body that's been concealed. There was a homicide, and then the body was entombed on a riverbank, which is concealing the fruits of the crime.
Let me see, Daniel Kane and Bradford Cohen. Daniel, though, how many times have you heard the same old song, second verse, same as the first? It was an accident, and then I panicked. I panicked, and I went and poured cement over a child's body. It's not going to fly.
No, that's not the appropriate defense in this case. If it was an accident, there's normally flight, and you don't have that in this case. You've got the body with no evidence of the homicide as of today, and then you have the concealment of the body entombed on the riverbank. So it's just it's not an accident case.
And it's not even so much that it's hidden. It's the fact that they poured cement over the body, which goes further than just okay, it was an accident.
Hold on, gentlemen. I mean, I don't know how you two go into court every day and defend this kind of a case, but you know what? That's your burden to carry. But the thought of pouring thick, wet cement onto a dead child's face her hair, her skin, her little clothes. This little girl set to start kindergarten in the fall. Nevaeh, to our sources, is dead at the hands of a killer. To Cheryl McCollum, director of a cold case squad, Pine Lake PD. Cheryl, what now?
They're going to look for footprints. They're going to look for tire tracks. They might even look for fingerprints on the guardrail. They're going to look for the empty bag of mixture. They're going to look for even maybe a clandestine campsite. Nancy, this guy was familiar with this area. He drove that child 7 miles, took her down the embankment, probably drowned her. Put her in the grave that was already possibly dug and then covered her.
I do not believe that he would have drowned a child where he could have been seen doing it.
Oh, he knew he wouldn't be seen.
The killer killed her either in the car where he took her or in his home. What about it, Mark Class?
This is just discombobulating. The child could have died in any of a number of ways. It also tells you that this character had time on his hands and felt confident that he could take her down there, he could mix cement, he could pour the cement over her. I believe that they might even be able to trace the cement back to where it was purchased.
Wise. You're right about that. Joining me right now from the National Association to Protect Children. You know her from being a star on Little House on the Prairie. You remember Nellie Olson with me. Allison Orngrim. Allison, as a child molestation victim yourself, I want to hear your views on this.
Look, this is a horrible story, and we always ask, you know, who dropped the ball? Who didn't drop the ball in this case? There's really no one in this story that I would leave a potted plant with, let alone a child. Yes, I talk about the mother had all these friends who were registered and, in fact, on probation, sex offenders. The mother was on probation herself, had just gotten out of prison for home invasion, which is not shoplifting. I believe she did not have custody of the child, the grandmother did. Everyone knew that all of these people were on probation. In fact, they were all violating their probation by being around this child, and no one did anything. People believe that when they hear that people on probation are registered as sex offenders, this means someone's watching them. No, it doesn't. No one was watching the store during any of this. Everyone in that building knew the child was allowed to come and go unattended because she was, quote, mature, and no one did anything.
To Sean Hannity, the founder of 3View Search Services. Sean, what do they need to do regarding this scene, and how do you believe the searchers got the evidence they got so far?
So far, Nancy, to have an individual carry a victim 7 miles, that is definitely a premeditated act. Most people are just going to dump an individual very quickly. They're not going to stay on scene very long. But to go 7 miles, dump an individual, dig a hole and cover them up with concrete, that's so premeditated on that. The searchers or the evidence technicians are looking for the tire tracks. They're looking for the mixed bags of concrete. They're looking in the river. These divers are looking for the river, for the tools used to dig the hole, for the maybe a barrel or the buckets to mix the concrete in. Was it just poured in the hole? Was it just dumped in with the water to mix the concrete? They're looking for the tools that created the scene, as well as any article related to the subject responsible.
Everyone, on a happy note, at your request, photos of the twins, now 19 months. And I will always believe if it were not for your thoughts and prayers, we would not be here today. There's their news she just got at Target, pink and blue. There's Lucy insisting on wearing my moccasins. And John David, we go through a first time out in the yard, they went up and smelled a flower. They made the connection. There's Lucy with a neighbor dog, Mickey. She did the same thing when she saw the flower after reading about it. She's a star. John David, that was on his 18-month birthday. Lucy's swim hat. John David, swim hat, in his pajamas. There they are. I'm trying to teach them the alphabet so we can get a jump start on the whole kindergarten thing. They love books. Here we are at a park here in New York. Lucy's glam. There's Daddy. Lucy made a friend, and the little friend came up to Mommy and said, "Why did you put her diaper on backwards?"